Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to do our experiment on density. Right? Wait, what are you doing? Wait, no, we're not having lunch right now. I told you to have lunch before we began. Give me it now. Or go over there and have your lunch yourself. And don't help. Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry about that. Density is the amount of mass in a given volume of matter. Okay, basically it's whether something's going to sink or float. Okay, remember we talked about air. Okay, and is hot air less dense? What are you doing? Or more dense than cold air? Right, it's less dense. Remember, hot air rises, and when it cools, it will sink, okay? So we're going to talk today about density with different liquids and different solids. If you remember, we did our density experiment earlier this year. We did one. And we're going to try it again. And we have, right here, we have a couple different things. We have water we're going to use. We have oil, so just some regular cooking oil. And I did not have corn syrup at home. I didn't bring it home from center. It's still there. But if Allie had said, hey, could we use maple syrup? So that's what I'm using today, Allie. I'm going to use maple syrup, and we'll see if that works. Remember when Allie said that? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add our oil. Okay, so I'm going to put it over there, and I'll add our oil. All right, so see where that is. Okay, so now I'm going to add, you all right? I'm going to add our water. And what do you think is going to happen to the water? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen to the water? Do you think it's going to float up in the air? It's not going to float up in the air. What do you think is going to happen to the water? Well, have your hypothesis ready. Remember, it's your educated guess. And let's see what happens. I'm going to move this on up. What's wrong? Okay, that was your educated guess. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of it. All right. So let's see where the water goes. Okay, so let's look what's happening. What's happening here? If we can see, we have two separate levels of water. We have water and oil. Do you see where that is, Mrs. Sale? We have the water and the oil. They're separate. That means the oil is less dense than the water. Okay, and the water is more dense. Okay, so now we have, and this is what Allie had talked about. So, hey, what would happen if we use maple syrup? So that's what we're going to use today. Okay, so we're going to put that in. All right. Now, is that what your maple leaves are made out of? That you like maple leaves. I know you do, but these aren't leaves. Don't worry. All right, so let's see what happens. I'm going to move this up over here. All right, so let's see our levels here, and let's see if we can find our levels. I'm going to bring this closer to you. Now, Mrs. Snell, come on. I'm going to bring that closer to you. Look at that. So look at our levels. We have our syrup, we have our water, and we have our oil. We have our three different levels. So if we're going to talk about one being more dense or less dense, which is it? So which one has the least density? Which one is the least dense? Is less dense than all the rest? Which one do you think? Very good. Were you the same as Mrs. Snail and said corn syrup? Good job. All right, high stocks for you. Which one is most dense? It's the most dense. Yes, our syrup, our maple syrup. Now, I asked Mrs. Snail to gather a couple items to put in, and we can test and see where they would be. Would they be more dense or less dense than something? Now, I have a penny. Okay, the penny. Where do you think the penny will fall? Make your hypothesis. Say, oh, where do you think is going to be, Mrs. Snail? You think in the water? Okay, so let's see. I'm going to bring this over to you. And I'm going to put that in. And let's see where it falls. What are you doing, Mrs. Snail? If you see where that fell, that went all the way down into the into our maple syrup. So my penny's all the way in the maple syrup. Now, Mrs. Snail had other items. She wanted to try a paper clip. Where do you think the paper clip will go? Where do you think that will go in here? Do you think it'll be more dense or less dense than the penny? You think less dense? Okay. Let's see. Let's see where it goes. Up. That also went all the way down. All the way down. Let's try one more. And Mrs. Snail, look what this is, Mrs. Snail. Is this one of your friends? So both of these are more dense. I wonder if I could find something else to use very quickly. So now we have, look at this. It's a little plastic snail. Okay, look how cute she is. We're going to put her in. Where do you think she might go? And oh my goodness, she is above, she is right on top of the corn syrup. She's not on the water. I mean, she's not in the corn syrup, but she's like less dense than the water. I mean, she's more dense than the water, sorry, and less dense than the corn syrup. All right, why don't we try that? Good idea. We're going to try her leaf. Okay, so we have one more we're going to try. Where do you think her leaf that she was supposed to finish before lunch go? Let's see. Where do you think? You think on top of the corn syrup? Well, let's see. And Mrs. Snail is right. If you can see, I don't know if you can see where it is. It's floating all the way on top. I don't know if I can put it there and you can see it. But it's right on top of the corn syrup. So it's all the way up. Don't know if I'm going to make it fall. If you can see, it's right up there on top of the corn syrup. Now, my suggestion to you is to try this at home. Make sure you ask mom and dad if you're allowed to try this and try different objects. Maybe you can find something a lot more fun than what Mrs. Snail and I use. But as you can see, we have something that the snail is less dense in our syrup, but it is more dense than the water and the oil. We have our leaf from your lunch that is less dense than everything, right? And we also have our penny and our paper clip that was more dense than every single thing. So see what you can try at home. See what you can do with mom and dad's permission. Please don't make a mess. You can email me and let me know. You can send me a message. You can do whatever you want to do to let me know, or you can just do it without letting us know. But try some things at home and have fun with science. Remember, we love science. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of the day and peace out.